now if we think about bigger scale, we've got reservoirs. Now what Lindsay's saying about abstraction is really important, because the licenses are crucial in order to make sure that you've got the water there for when you need to apply it. But reservoirs like this could be the future of ensuring that we still have a thriving agricultural community in Eastern England. And by that, I mean that there could be potential trading and sharing of water. And that's something that's really, really interesting. And WRE is involved at all levels into the development of potential future reservoirs in this area. And if you'd like to find out more, then please do check out Angling Water and WRE's websites, where you can find out more information about that. So that's the large scale. And I'm going to kind of go back now to looking at these nature-based solutions that I mentioned earlier. So natural flood management and this term of working with natural processes have been bouncing around for the last couple of decades. And again, they're rising on the political agenda. By no way or means is it going to be a panacea, but what it will do is help to mitigate against these flood and drought risks. And one project that WRE is involved in is the Norfolk Water Strategy. And this is a long-term project that's being funded by Norfolk County Council and Nature Conservancy to look at the use of nature-based solutions. So that could be leaky dams or scallops in field or re-meandering of rivers, and then to look at the benefits that these can have for water resource and flood management in Norfolk itself. The fund is a collaborative approach to looking at something that's a really, really bureaucratic issue, but it's something that's looking at providing resources for contractors and catchment partnerships, looking at training and upscaling in the area. And there'll be a level of monitoring which will lead to reports and hopefully some implementation of some of the best practices that they find during the study. If you want to find out more about that, again, there's a lot of information on WRE's website. A farmer anywhere within East Anglia or the Eastern region could be looking at innovative solutions. And I say that word quite a lot, but it doesn't have to be rocket science or anything super fancy. Sometimes the most simplest methods are the most successful. They also tend to be the cheapest. So there's a farmer who I went to see in, I think it was Cambridgeshire, and what he'd done was got loads of timber and made like a wall with this timber across one corner of his field, which wets up quite a lot. It sits just below sea level. It was super unproductive. And so what he decided to do was that he would create this feature, and he got help from the local university and from others who were interested. So it could be the Rivers Trust or your local Rivers Trust that could also get involved, or us at WRE, and set up this what's called a hybrid wall, so that it would store water but it would also let it filter through. So it's kind of like a leaky wall. The cost of it was just the cost of the timber, yet the effects are that the road downstream doesn't flood anymore. So it created a public good. So again, that could link into future funding for having a feature like that in the field. When it comes to water resource, that also helps to increase and raise the water table. So you're having that kind of capture and store effect. So there's lots of different means like that, and they don't have to be super technical, but most of the approaches that are collaborative are the ones that kind of get the most notice. So if you're thinking about doing something on your farm, then get in touch with people that are interested. Sometimes it leads to free labor and free materials, so it's always worth kind of putting a bit of a shout out there. And quite a good way into that may be WRE's local focus catchment workshops, which we're holding the next ones I think in February, but they'll be posted on our website, or sign up to our mailing list and you'll find out more. And what they do is they're more grassroots approach. So if you've got an idea, then that'd be the perfect place to mention it, see who else would like to get involved. Finally, and rather shamelessly, I'm going to be doing a bit of a pitch on the project that I'm working on, which is Water for Tomorrow. Why this is important to agriculture is it's a grassroots approach. So we're looking at local catchment scale measures and interventions which could be in place in order to provide that level of resilience to farming businesses when it comes to droughts. So this project is, again, it's a collaborative project. There's 5 project partners, 3 of which are in England and 2 in France. And it's also looking at 5 specific catchments. You can see these on the screen now. So we've got Broadland Rivers, Camanileas and East Suffolk, and then 2 in France. And what's really interesting about this project is we're going to be developing water resource models, options development, and then a decision support tool. And that will all feed into a catchment management system. So what this will do is actually come up with a suite of options that could be applied. So some of the measures that I mentioned for on-farm, but equally, these will be carried out for every sector within these catchments. Feed them into a model that will test what happens as you take water out from one place or don't take water out from another, so groundwater, surface water, and then pile this into a tool which will help you decide what measures will be applicable to that area and therefore help to reduce the water resource scarcity issues that we have in these catchments. Well, in the long run, WRE is hoping that we're using this as a bit of a trial, test it out, see what works and what doesn't, and then apply it to other WRE catchments. What we're needing to do, though, is get you involved. So if you aren't already involved with WRE, check us out online, or our email address is also on the screen. What we're looking for is farmers and landowners that are doing anything that's remotely connected to water management, whether that's sharing of water with a neighbour or looking at having an on-farm reservoir applied. Because if we can use it and it's situated in one of these catchments, then we can hopefully look at doing something innovative and also use the data to help other people. So yeah, if you want to get in touch, then drop us an email on the address there, and that will be really, really helpful.